Frame 86 coming hot at you with our awesome guest Lane joining us once again. For those of the OG of the channel know that Lane joined us on episode 24. It's been a little over a year since we saw you, Lane. We're really excited to have you back on. Before we get into any of the topics, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. You want to get on Gutterball? Let us know. Hit us up on Instagram. Just DM us. I'll get back at you. I promise. But what's up, boys? Lane, excited to have you. How's everyone
Thanks for
feeling?
having me.
Hell yeah. Yeah, Delaney, thanks again for coming on. I can't believe it's been almost. I was talking to you like 6 months ago. I swear, we're like, yeah, like, come on, and then I just like kind of forgot. I don't even know what happened. I don't know. We've
I
also been both been extremely busy. So
Yeah, because 6 months ago, I definitely would have been in like my busy season for weddings.
yeah,
So like between editing, filming, planning, like it's just really tricky to like divvy out my time.
it's a
Mhm.
whirlwind.
It
Yeah.
was, it was weird
But
to me. I was like, "Wow, a whole year's gone by," just even with Gutterball, and I'm like, "A whole year's gone by, we had another we see you again." It's the last time I talked to you. It was just weird how quick that passed. I was like, "Oh, I swear Lane came on, like, 3 months ago," but, last time you saw me, I was literally 70 pounds heavier and about 20% less gay, but now I kinda flip-flop, so I'm all the way there. I'm all the way there, but sissy hip note since you last saw me.
it's been
It's been a while. A lot can happen in a year, isn't it crazy, folks? But yeah, no. Should we just hop into song of the week real quick?
yeah. Let's do it.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jack. What do you got?
Okay. All right. So I've been kind of over the place with my music this week. Man, just
Same.
a bunch of slow emo stuff. That Bones had a new album, which is pretty good.
I haven't listened
But
to that yet.
I like that song "Kill for Me" by Marilyn Manson. It's a little cringy, but I just watched the music video and it features Johnny Depp like I don't know, like killing this girl, and it's like weird. But if you go to the music video's comments, it's not as funny. All the comments are, "Oh my god, he's so hot for 60. Oh, Johnny Depp's so hot." Not one of them say anything about the music or Marilyn Manson. I just think it's fucking hilarious. Go on there right now. It's all the comments. But yeah, I've listening to a lot of that, vibing out. But still constantly on the death metal grind. Every day, all day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah, that's been my music choice. Paul, what
Hell
you
yeah.
got?
I've been finding, dude, it's weird. With me, it's like like music is how I almost treat video games. Where like with video games, when I am into them, I'm not a guy that goes and plays like, oh, Grand Theft Auto, and then like an hour later goes and switches over to another game, and then like tomorrow plays a different game. I'm very much a like once I'm with a game, I stick with it for a while. It's like when people go through their Minecraft phase, and I kind of do that with genres of music. So like, you know, those who have listened to the cast, the last few months have been a lot of like EDM and like kind of slower music and like stuff with maybe not so many lyrics, like maybe just like beats or synthwave, vaporwave stuff. But like now, like I'm going through like my rap kind of stuff, and I was listening to like some newer rap. And don't get me wrong, I'm still a metalhead at heart. I'll go through that. I always just go through that stuff. But my song of the week, and it's an old school one, some Houston hip hop. It's Sitting Sideways by Paul Wall featuring Big Pokey. So Paul Wall, as we know, classic. He's the one that brought the grills to fame, I should say, or got them big with Johnny Dang. Really big fan of Paul Wall. I just like that song because I don't know, dude. It's just go listen to it. It's like classic Houston hip hop from like the late '90s, early 2000s. Like it's sick. Um, but yeah, that's my
I've
song
been
of the week.
telling you about Big Pokey for like 2 years, and finally you're back on the Big Pokey. Paul,
I
Hardest
like
Pit of the
Big
Litter,
Pokey.
1999. Have you heard that? That's great.
No, I
Paul
haven't
and
listened to
Parlay.
any of
Oh,
Big Pokey's like
early stuff, dude.
stuff.
That's
I
where he's good.
every song I've
Sensei.
heard
Mm,
him, every song I've heard of his has been like he's been featured on it. But I'll
mhm.
go listen to his stuff now. Now that I'm
Yeah,
kind of
listen to
back into that
Hardest
grind.
Pit of the Litter. He's got like it's like a shitty Memphis, I guess Houston actually is Houston based. Shitty album cover where he's got like two bulldogs on chains and he's like laying back, dude. I love it. I love it. I love that guy. Really good music. What you got
Lane,
for us playing this
what do
week?
you got for
S-
song of the week?
s- So I lied. I said I was gonna shout out a band that I worked with, but I
That's all right.
worked with
Ooh,
two, and I can't like pick for song of
shout
the
out
week.
both of them.
You can do
Pick both.
two.
Both of them.
Do
Just do
yeah, let us
both.
know. Yeah,
All
promote
right.
them.
So, two bands that I worked with recently, I just shot a couple of music videos.
I
One
think I saw those.
is,
They look great.
I
Yeah, or
did,
saw
yeah.
like clips of them you posted.
yep. So one is dropping, as of Thursday when we're recording this, dropping at midnight, Friday morning, uh, February 9th. I did. I
It's
did
all
think
good.
about it.
Yeah,
Uh,
math.
but
No, I
that
get
yeah,
it.
but that one, Unfit MN, their song Dismay. I just shot something in their practice space, and then the other one is Your Last Breath, between Bliss and Torture.
Okay. Um,
Uh,
hell yeah. So those are just local. Like, what genre would you say both bands are? Are they very similar, or
I
they
wonder
local
I'd
with
in
names like
Minnesota?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say Unfit kind of fits in like the like hardcore realm. I'd say they definitely both fit into like the metalcore realm, but Your Last Breath is definitely like more kind of classic modern hard or modern metalcore, and then Unfit goes into like more of the hardcore kind of stuff.
Nice.
Gotcha.
Shout
Gotcha.
out them. Go run those up. Music video
Yeah.
out tonight. I
And
don't even know who they
honestly,
are, but I'm gonna listen to
Lane,
it tonight.
once you
Gonna
send
be
me
there.
all your stuff at the end, send me their stuff. I'll put it in the description below, and you guys can check out both those local Minnesota hardcore
I don't
bands.
know. Might cost them a little bit. You
Oh,
want advertising? Shit.
yeah,
I better
yeah,
be getting something out of this, man.
yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. Like get the
With the
taxi
40
meter going
followers.
behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tax. That's why we need a taxi meter. We were talking before the cast that we're gonna get an old timey taxi meter and run it up when guests are
Go
on,
tear it out of a junkyard, or just go steal it from a real taxi. I mean, with all the theft that's going on down
They
here in the
carry
cities,
guns.
they wouldn't even think twice. Yeah,
You
they
don't
carry
want to,
guns.
you don't want to mug a cabbie. You're looking more at an Uber driver is what you want to take. If you're gonna steal anybody's car, it's
Just
probably
steal
that.
his
Uber
phone.
drivers don't have the meter though. They
They
have
No,
don't.
they
the
don't.
Uber app to worry about that for them.
Yeah, that's
Hopefully
true.
their
You still
Bluetooth
take their
is
phone and
on.
wallet.
Hopefully their Bluetooth is on. You can just steal their info. There, you can totally do that now. I was learning about that where there's like Bluetooth hack tools where like you could just like
Yeah,
connect to their phone and download all this shit.
I saw ordinary gamers like UK India was like, or not UK India, my bad. Like a news outlet in India was reporting that people were getting hacked through their electric toothbrushes. So like they were
What
getting
the
their like
fuck?
IP addresses. And I don't think ordinary gamers bought it. I only watched first like 5 minutes of the video, but I'm like, huh, interesting. So they could really
Well,
come from anywhere.
this is why I say, and I'm a tech guy, not everything needs to be fucking smart, dude. Okay?
Mhm.
You don't smart fridge, okay? Like I can see some arguments for that, but like come on, really, bro? Like you
It's pretty
really?
cool.
It is cool.
You can play
But
Skyrim on it. Like, what do you
I
mean?
get the whole lights, but like as soon as you're getting smart toothbrushes and smart fucking what are we gonna I wouldn't be surprised if we get smart guns soon. They probably already
They
exist.
have the
Ooh.
ones with the fingerprint on them, Paul. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, you
yeah,
can push
yeah.
your fingers, so that's kind of already there. What do you mean? A smart gets to talk to you like in High on Life or something? Is it
No,
sassy? Can you have a voice mode?
it's like a Remington 870, and it's like It looks like an Apex Legends gun. It'll talk to you. It's got AI built in.
No,
Someone
that's gonna
hacks
be
it. It just
awful.
starts
Yeah.
firing.
You're gonna try to defend
I-
yourself, and it's be like, "Oh, you didn't clean me last week. Gun locked." Wait, what do you mean? You're gonna get shot, dude. It's gonna be an ass.
I wouldn't be surprised if like AI assistant like aiming tools and then like detection tools are somehow implemented into guns at
Yeah,
some
dude.
point in the future.
You know what John Connor would say about that? He wouldn't be happy you guys are talking about this. All
Yeah.
right?
No,
Well, Google
no,
is pretty much
it's a very
Skynet.
actually like genuinely scary precedent.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
Like-
they're gonna put it all into the Apple Vision Pro, dude. You're gonna have
Oh my
like that thing
God.
that like from like 80s to 90s action movies where it's got like the green rectacles and the lines lining up for aiming. You're gonna have that in the Apple Vision Pro when you're shooting your guns.
Speaking of Apple Vision Pro, like the more I see, I've started like now that it's out for the public, I've seen like on my Instagram feed people's
It's everywhere.
setups with it.
Yeah,
And the more I see people like using it and showing off how they use it, the lamer it looks.
It looks really dumb aesthetically. Like you look like a Momo with it on.
I
for
mean,
sure.
That's true of any VR headset, AR headset, whatever the hell you want to call it. I think like the AI interpretation of your eyes is really creepy. And then but like yeah, like the whole people showing off like, oh, this is how I set it up for productivity purposes. It's like, dude, for less than like for like half the cost, you could just get a couple extra monitors.
Yeah,
Like,
and I
Exactly.
mean, I'd like to try
what
it
is
for
the
a
point of
day,
this?
but I feel like I'd get burnt out of it, and then I'd probably be like, man, this. I feel like I'd be at, I don't know, at a disadvantage for everything in my daily life to use it.
I don't know.
It'd be
Yeah.
interesting to try though, I guess.
What's that dude's name on YouTube? I forget
Casey
his name.
Neistat.
No, he's the one that like
I saw his video.
durability tests everything. He like
I know
scratches
what
the
you're talking about.
phone.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
his name.
he's got like very monotone voice. He did it with the Apple Vision Pro. They are not built well, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
it's an
look they
Apple
do look pretty
product.
cheap, yeah.
Yeah.
They do look very plastic, like, you can just that thing, if that fell, that's it. That's it for that thing.
Yeah,
Like,
it,
I don't
it
know, I
is
feel like I'd
plastic.
be
It
fine to
literally
beat
is.
you up if I saw you wearing it, you know?
Yeah, it's an Apple product. Like, the
No.
biggest like criticism of like iPhones was that they're just fragile.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I wanna do that thing where, you seen that picture where the kid's living in third person because he has the camera behind him, but he has the
Yeah.
headset on? Like, that would be cool. You wanna try that for a day? Live in third person like Resident Evil? I don't
That'd
know,
be
I think it'd be
fucking
fucking
weird.
awesome.
I feel like as
There's
I'd
soon
like to
as you
try
turn
it.
it off, you'd be disoriented.
Oh, I
there's a
think so.
quarter like a quarter crew video where they do a
Yeah, they
test
did
with
do
that.
Okay.
But they do it with like an FPV drone where like someone else is piloting it and they're like wearing the goggles
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they try and like treat it like
It's like
GTA
a 2D
where
2D game too.
they also get into a car
Yeah,
and
I've
try
seen
and
that.
like
It's
drive
Oh,
it.
Jesus Christ, that's pretty cool actually, though. That'd be fun. Okay, alright, I like that. Yeah, I'd get that over the Apple thing.
But Lane, otherwise, it's good to see you again. Thanks for coming on. Like, what have you been up to? It sounds like you're still doing the music stuff, videography, photography, all that stuff. Like, you got any up to date stuff you wanted to let us know? Kind of go into what you've been up to lately, or
Yeah, so I am pretty much trying to wrap my 2023. I have one more wedding to edit before I'm like completely done with my back catalog.
nice.
And then mostly like right now, since it's February right now, it's a lot of what I do nowadays is like a lot of marketing and sales and doing a lot of outreach. And basically like because we live in Minnesota and like it's super cold here, uh weirdly not like this year actually though.
Yeah, it's weird.
But like like a lot of what I do right now is focusing on planning for like when the spring hits, like the spring and summer. So right now, like on docket for this year for the summer, still pushing weddings, like right now trying to book more music videos. Like I said, I did 2 of them recently, back to back over the weekend.
Hell yeah.
Delivered both of them, so that's fun and dandy. A lot of concert photography as of late as well.
Yeah, I see that on Instagram. It's nice.
Yeah, and then this year I'm starting to lean a little bit more into like marketing content creation for like small businesses and stuff.
Sweet, man.
So I won't get too much into that because I'm still like I have package offerings that I like give to businesses, but not all of them bite. So it's really hard to sell.
Yeah.
At least like when I'm this early into it.
Yeah. Well, you're starting something new, it sounds like, and getting into the gist of it. So you kind of need to get a lay of the land.
Yeah, trying to find something a little bit more sustainable because like with weddings, like weddings this year have like there's no shortage of them, but a lot of the budgets are very small from what I see. And there's a lot of new people entering where
No one's
they're
having big weddings anymore, man.
yeah, like we had this giant boom of weddings that I was able to capitalize on or like when I was starting with doing this more professionally. Because it was a lot of people who like had to postpone their wedding for like 2020 and 2021 and then like it's like all right, well now it's safe to like get our families like all in the same room, so now we're all going to do it all at once. So it was super easy to find work then, but now like so I was able to get work and build my portfolio a little bit, but now it gets a little bit tricky now that I've raised my prices and like budgets are like going lower and lower. Like a lot of people are trying to go like under $2,000 for like both photo and video sometimes what I'm seeing, which like more power to you, but like a lot of people like with when looking for those services, a lot of them don't realize like the value in paying a little bit extra for just having an experienced person uh capturing their wedding and like doing it right and like making sure that all their needs are met and everything. Because like
Yeah,
sometimes you get a new
it's a
person
lot
and
of
it's like,
work.
yeah, you get someone new and they don't know like they're not always going to know like what are the big challenges that you come across in a wedding.
Yeah.
Um,
And
and
what are
sometimes they
some
don't.
of them? What
Yeah, and
wouldn't they
sometimes they
know?
don't have the right like communication skills and everything for it.
Mhm.
So it's like no, you just make the investment on like the memories part of it, like your photo and your video.
Hell
Right.
yeah, dude. Yeah,
I
well,
was curious,
that's
like, what wouldn't they know? Like, just like going into it, if you were gonna like, say if I wanted to do it, what would you tell someone that you didn't know going into like shooting weddings that you wish you
You can never have enough audio sources.
okay.
exactly. Yep. You told me
Yes.
that one time. Yeah. And that's why, I did my vlog in Norway. Still haven't edited it. Still have not
Mm,
even touched the footage. I grabbed everything and backed it up. And, I have like lav mic audio recording, the shotgun mount. And then I also have like the video. And I did all the photos. I did every single photo and they turned out great. But I just have not yet touched the video. And it's not because I'm scared to. It's just because like I know it's going to be long. I took a lot of footage, man. A
mhm.
Yeah,
ton of
Is it
I
footage.
because you don't want one to fail, or is it because you want to have different ones so one sounds better than the other?
yeah, so there's some where like you want to use them as like your excuse me. You want to have some where like that's your primary your reliable source of audio. So like the big ones that I always do are like lav mic on like the groom and the officiant. Um so that's two sources right there. Plug into like the sound system of like the venue
Mhm.
with like the mic that they're using, like the SM58. Um, like you want to get a clean feed of that if you can, but sometimes that's not always the safest option. Which is why you have the lav.
Right.
And then like let's say it's a Catholic ceremony, like and you don't have enough like you don't have like more than one lav or you have like two lavs or something or whatever like and then you got like a lot of people doing like a lot of different people doing like scripture readings. You want to be able to capture that, but how do you get close to that? And then also the challenges with doing a Catholic ceremony where like sometimes sometimes the church coordinator just is like vehemently against you being anywhere close to the stage.
Mm.
So like I've been told a lot like we don't want you past like the fifth aisle or the fifth row. So it's like okay, I'm basically like confined to the back. So how am I gonna like do an audio like a proper audio capture here?
Mhm.
And
You have to
sometimes
put
like
it around the G
yeah,
shape
so
or
like you got to have like a little
something.
table recorder there, and then you got to run into, and then sometimes you run into issues of like people knock it or they like they'll like tap the desk, and then you got to deal with that in the audio too. Like it like there's so many different challenges that in audio alone that like in a ceremony that like you just never know what you're gonna deal with.
And that's like
Um,
part of the reason why I'm scared to go through my footage, right? Is because I did what you recommended, two mics, right? And
mhm.
I bought the task cam you told me to buy, but I already know that some of that footage is probably going to be unusable simply because like that lav, for whatever reason, on the windbreaker jacket I brought with me to Norway, I think loved to scrape up against it. I'm really hoping there isn't a ton of noise, but for all I know, there is. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and
It
that's
was
just
tough.
also the nature of a windbreaker too.
Yeah, yeah,
Like you're just gonna get that
yeah,
every time you move.
Yeah, I don't know. It might
yeah.
be a good choice. That's one market I wish I could tap into is ASMR. I feel like there's something to be made about that. Being one of those lewd Twitch streamers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Money out of that. I'm
But
gonna look
yeah,
into that.
that
But yeah,
sounds like you've been
go
keeping
book.
busy.
Yeah, go book Lane for all your fucking photography needs. He's got
All
you.
his
Music
stuff will be in the
videos down,
description.
weddings
Yeah.
down,
Video
funerals
mostly,
down,
please.
Video mostly,
video
I
please.
mostly, video
yeah,
mostly.
yeah, I like I have a lot of respect for like very talented photographers, and while I like to think that I'm decent, I don't think I have the brain of someone who could be a professional photographer
I don't think I
personally.
do either. However, I do think I did get a lot of my photos printed out from Norway, and I was like, damn, like this turned out pretty good. And that's after I edited them, of course. I edited There are some though where like they print it out and I'm like, damn, this could have been a little lighter. This could have been a little less exposed, more exposed. But like also, that's how you learn though. That was like my first like
Yeah.
that was my first big thing. The only shoot I did with my ZVE10 before that was at Minnehaha Falls. I just went out one day and I was like, let's just go fuck around there and just like see what I can do with this thing. And
Yeah, I remember
photography stuff.
I remember like when I was first getting into photography, like doing nature photography with my like Canon T3i back in like 2015 or something like that. Going out to like Tut Hill Park in Sioux Falls and just wandering the trail and like taking pictures of just random shit in the woods.
Yeah, man.
Like
I
it's
mean,
I
it's
like that
it's it,
pictures. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
it is how you like it is a really great way to like learn, and you can take some really incredible photos with very cheap gear now. But
Mhm.
like I think there's a lot like talented photographers are very easy to come by, but talented professional photographers are like I have a lot of respect for
Mhm. I
because
like
like they have to
exposure
yeah
photography.
they have to know a lot about like what are the client's needs, and then like knowing the right angles and lighting and everything for like and branding is a big thing like for the client,
yeah.
like especially with like product photography and such.
Yeah.
Like I can come up with like I can come up with a short film idea for like a like showcasing the use of a product for a video, like no problem. And then the hard part is like finding the crew and then pitching the budget.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Um,
I totally get what you mean, man. Because what I ran into in Norway is, how I bought the Sony 11 millimeter lens and then the Sigma 18 to 50 millimeter lens. I
mhm.
found myself loving the Sigma way more and barely using the Sony 11 millimeter lens. I did use it a few times, but then what I ran into was, well, I learned my lesson is I need to get a flash of some sort because at the wedding the venue was very like ambient lighting and
Yep.
most of the photos I took were just garbage. I gave everything was for free because they had a professional photographer. I'm like, hey, anything I take for you guys can just have it. I'll edit it to the best of my ability. Do with it what you want. And a lot of them were like, oh god, this is kind of unusable, but that's okay. Like, I mean, I learned my lesson. I need to buy a proper flash, like, because I bought a cheap on sale video light, but now I know why it was on sale. Is the brightness like didn't really go that much bright, so it's just always bright on all the time. And I'm like, this would be good for
Yeah.
video at night, and that's about it.
Yeah, like I have one right behind me actually, but yeah, like one of these
Like a soft
on well one of these on like just on your camera at like for a dance floor. It like it's
Wait, what is that for audio and for me? Because I don't know what that is.
oh sorry, this is it's a light.
Oh, okay, word. I was like, what am I seeing here?
See,
Like a
I
domino
have
or
I
something?
have one of
Okay,
those,
nice.
but like it isn't at like the brightness settings don't. It's like always. It's like blinding bright. Like it's
I think you got like a Loom Cube one, right?
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Which I've heard good things about them. I know nothing about it just because I've never bought one myself and used one. But I don't know, I've heard good things about them. They're nice and compact and still it's super bright, but yeah, I could see that like as like a constantly on thing for photography being really annoying.
Yeah, and that's why like I think if I was to buy another thing for my camera setup, it would be a new light, a flash, a proper flash.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's I think for concert photography, that's something I really want to invest in. Because or even event photography, because I've been hired for a couple of events where the venue is just the lighting is fine for like people, but for photography, it is like I have to crank my ISO to like
Yeah.
get usable pictures, which like the Sonys are fine with that. Like you can crank that to like 12,800, 25,600, and like sure it's not ideal necessarily. Like you're going to have a ton of noise in the image, but it's still like a fairly usable photo, especially like for like if you just post it to Instagram.
Yeah. I will say I watched a 2.5 hour long video that went through the entire ZVE10 when I went to go learn it. Like just every setting, what it does. And I don't shoot in those like what do they call it? Like stage modes or whatever, like whatever is like based on the environment. I do it in like the basic mode where you have to edit a few things, but it's like still kind of like helping you. And I got better at that, like learning ISO, exposure, aperture, all that stuff. And it's still a little confusing to me, but that's like my fear right now is I need to get out and go do something with it, like shoot a sketch or do something because I'm gonna lose all that knowledge like that I gained. But I know like it's probably like riding a bike. I'll get back into it and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's right. This is how this works.
Yeah, best advice in general is just like if you're ever like just getting into it, is like just keep doing it. Like
Yeah,
you'll only get better.
for sure.
It's fun to look back like a year or two or a year or two back on projects that I've worked on and see the noticeable difference in like how I work. Like I'm sure the videos that I do now, like I have a lot of confidence because like I have like a nicer camera now
Yeah, you
than I
got an
did like 2 years
FX3, man.
ago.
That's sick.
Yeah,
I want one of those so bad.
it's what I'm shooting with right now.
Yeah.
But it's a nice camera. It does. I was just talking to a buddy of mine earlier today, who also owns one, but like, yeah, it's probably like the most versatile camera that I've ever owned. Um, but and like in terms of features, like there's really only one thing that I could ask for like in an update, but otherwise like it's just it's everything. It does everything I need
It's
it to.
God tier. It does photo and video extremely well.
Yeah.
Extremely well.
I would say it's definitely not built as a photo camera, but
It's
it
meant for video.
can do it, I guess.
It's just like how the Sony ZV-E10's meant for video, but it can do photos. Okay.
It does. I'd say the ZV-10 probably does photos better than the FX3,
Oh
honestly.
damn.
But yeah, like yeah, sure. Like the camera's nice now, but it's neat to like look back and see like not just like the quality of the camera that I shot on, but like how my brain worked when I was shooting those things. Um, and thinking now, like if I still had that same camera, or like if I were to get my hands on that camera again, because I don't own an A6400 and I don't own an A7 III anymore. But if I had one now and were to shoot a project on it now, I'd be curious to see like how the video I'd shoot today would stack up against something I shot like 2 years ago.
Yeah, man. That would be a cool comparison.
Mhm.
But yeah, man. Photography's sick. Videography's sick. I
I
really
mean,
need to, keep on that.
I only like photography when like someone's being exploited, I guess. No, just kidding. No.
Jesus.
Um,
Uh,
how about that one guy that just walks up to like crackheads on the street and takes their pictures without his permission? They always look all fucked up, or like he'll like stand on the corner side and like
what's wrong with
that
you?
wait for that like kid to drop his ice cream and they'll take a picture of him crying. This guy's fucking sick, but he's sick in the head doing that. But I like that type of photography. I feel like photography is one of those things too that
Where you're capturing a moment
everyone
that like no one's ever seen, or like an emotion, or like something
Mhm.
at just like a split second. Yeah, that's
That
what's cool
It's
about
one
it.
of the most expensive hobbies that gets quit within a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like someone buys like $1,000 camera, realize that, oh
I'm
my
trying
god, I
not to
have
turn
no
into that
proclivity
guy.
towards this. Yes, you better use it. Yeah, god damn it.
Honestly, that's
Um,
something I love about street photography. Like going downtown and just seeing like the like sheer mass of people that
mhm,
just pass you by and all the different moments that happen.
mhm.
Like yeah, it's a fun summer
People watch.
activity. I
Yeah.
haven't done it in like a couple of years now, but like I'd go downtown Minneapolis and wander down like either Hennepin or um what's the mall? Nicollet Mall.
Yeah.
And like I think Nicollet has like there's usually like a hot dog stand and there's like some place like outside, like just outside a storefront that has like a bunch of like just oversized like street games like that. Like there's cornhole. I want to say there's like someone has like a chessboard or something.
Yeah.
But there's people that are just playing cornhole like in the middle of downtown. And it's like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
You get buskers all the time. There's someone really cool. I'm gonna butcher his name, but Mwago Curia is like a dude in downtown Minneapolis that I've come across where he just like does like he'll sit there and jam like jazz chords and jazz leads and stuff.
Mm.
And
That's my Minneapolis right there. You know, right next
I-
to all the tents and the riots. I'm like,
Jesus.
yeah, dude, this guy, they're out there playing cornhole in the middle of it, right in the middle of
Yeah, the target's burning down behind them. There's a dude playing cornhole. In front
cornhole.
of
Yeah,
it.
this is what I like to see out here. It's great.
listen, we gotta find the things that bring us actual like dopamine and serotonin in Minneapolis.
Right.
Yeah,
Other than
absolutely.
drugs. Yeah, specifically the first thing seems to be drugs.
You're just
over there.
shitting on the city. It's
I'm
pretty
just
funny
saying,
though.
what about
It
this
is pretty
topic?
funny.
So, okay, all right, Paul. Let me just read off a topic you have this week. Mayor Jacob Frey of Minneapolis.
Yeah, I
Those who
don't like
choose to
him.
ignore- Yeah, what do you say about him, bro?
I
You're
don't-
mayor of a mid-sized city in the Midwest. Fuck off. Go into this, Paul. What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah,
You're
okay,
literally
well,
dunking on them. I
Okay.
need to know.
Well, he said some stupid shit lately. I don't know what your take is, Lane. Mayor Jacob Frey is kind of like, I don't know. I feel like
I always forget. I'm gonna be honest. I always forget he's the mayor until like I hear his name.
Yeah, same.
But
Mayor.
He's
so
very
I-
forgettable.
I know next to nothing about him other than he's the mayor of Minneapolis.
That's fair. Like one of the latest things he said is he tried to make a joke land at like a press conference about, because here's the deal is, and we know this, Minneapolis or the downtown Minneapolis is struggling right now to keep businesses there. Ever since remote work started, a lot of businesses are either, well, some are still there and keeping their offices, but downsizing. A lot of people are commuting into the city now, which in turn kills restaurants in the city and all types of other things because people aren't going out to lunch and it all just kind of down trickles, right? And he just said that literally, like, those who choose remote work over office work end up being losers. Like, he literally said that, like, you're going to turn into a loser. And it was it really landed poorly. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. And then after that, like, he ends up saying, like, Minneapolis is coming back. Like, the downtown's coming back. We have lower crime, which if you go look at, like, the statistics, he's not wrong. Violent crime has went down a tick or two, but theft and like vandalism and all that other shit has spiked, especially like car theft lately down here.
Yeah. Well, that happens when like 30% of your surface area of downtown is just car lots.
Exactly. Yep.
Mhm.
And the city still has a problem with parking. Like, even though there's that many car lots, like, it's like, it's weird. And then, like, I thought it was just kind of weird how, like, I get it. War is terrible. And he was trying to get, he stood in front of, like, some, I think, city council and tried to get a ceasefire in Gaza. And it was just, like, immediately shot down.
Oh, I did hear about this.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, I get it. I don't want there to be anything there. But, like, I was saying, is like, you're a mayor of a mid-sized city in the Midwest. Like, kind of just, like, fuck off and let the, like, other politicians deal with this shit. Like, I get, like, he's a mayor of a city, but it's not like he's a senator of a state or a governor or anything, right? Like, I feel like the lower guys in political office, even mayors, don't really have that much going up the food chain for them. Like, it just, like, those things never really come to fruition. I just think why is he like focusing on that shit when he should really be focusing on the city instead of lying about other things? Like, oh, like the city's doing great, crime's going down. Like, I don't know. That's why I'm
He's a
just kind of
weasel.
fed up with him. Yeah, that's what I
Little
kind of
weasel,
said.
as
He's
you
a little
put it.
bit of a weasel, but I don't know. I'm not a
I
big
will
fan
say-
of him.
I will say something not about him, but like something that the city is doing that I'm very excited about is they are expanding the Green Line train.
They are, and
and-
that is huge.
And that I think it goes from like Target Field or Target Center down to like Eden Prairie
Yeah.
for any local people that watch the show. But one of the stops is like a block-ish away from my house.
Nice,
Ooh,
man.
nice.
So
That's cool
That'll
right
be
there.
sick.
Yeah, I've
yeah,
actually-
anytime I have to like make a trip out to like St. Paul for like a show or something, your boy, well, as of like I think like 2027 is when it will be operational.
Yeah.
According to their roadmap, but like your boy's just gonna fucking take the train to go into St. Paul to go to shows.
Hell yeah, dude. You know, I know it would take years to do, but they've talked about for years expanding a light rail from here to Duluth and Duluth and back. And
That
like
would be
tickets
sick.
and they've been talking about that for years and years and years. It always gets shot down because it's like billions of dollars project. But now they're like, I don't know, man. There's rumblings of it like coming into works again. I'm like, dude, if that
Cool about
happens,
that.
great. We wouldn't see it in like 10 years because usually what happens is it takes like 4 to 5 years to engineer something like that and draw up plans, and then they actually start on it. And then it takes like 10 years to fucking build something like that.
A
But
bullet
could you
train?
imagine? Yeah, dude. Well, could you imagine like, say it's like $10 to $15, maybe $20 one way, and it takes you an hour to get there, or not less
Yeah.
even. Like,
Dude, an hour and you don't have to focus on the road.
exactly.
That's
you
like
sit.
that's my biggest thing is like
You
so
can do
The
work.
guy
Yeah.
pissing in the corner. That's the only thing you have to deal with.
Shut the fuck
yeah,
up.
like you could read a book, you could listen to music, you could watch a movie, like you could watch a show, you could doom scroll social media, you could work, you could do anything other than fucking drive.
Yeah.
I think that's my biggest problem with living in the Midwest is like on the East Coast, you've got all these like giant major cities that are super close to each other that would actually really benefit from having some sort of train system connecting them, but they don't. I've seen plans like proposed for like a train system connecting like from Maine to like down to Florida and then looping up into like Ohio and then up to like I think up to Toronto and then coming back. And it's like that would be sick. That would be awesome to have.
Yeah. Yeah.
We would also very much benefit that in the Midwest where we have to drive like, you know, we're like it's very much like we're very used to like, oh, we have to drive through 6 to 8 to 10 hours of cornfields and trees to get to the next city.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
We need
Dude.
a train. Like, I don't know, bring back trains. I don't know what we can do to increase train popularity. Maybe add a loop or like some type of like up, like incline and downcline. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that'd be interesting. We need to get the younger generation into trains because I, for one, am pro train. I'd love to see trains make a comeback.
I
it might
go ahead.
it might be the autism in me, but I'm also very much like pro train.
Yeah, train,
Yeah,
dude.
we're pro
That
train
was
podcast.
one thing I was extremely impressed about in Bergen, Norway, is the walkability of the city and how great their transit system was with the city buses. Like it was like, oh, you need to get on a bus, you get like their local app, and it's like just shows you the next stop and where you need to go, and it just does it all for you. They have like a crazy tram system there too. Like I took the Norway in a Nutshell tour, and that brought you on like a train and buses, and it brought me through like old Viking villages and all this other types of shit. It was so cool.
That sounds cool.
But I was just like so impressed by how well their transit system is. But not only that, how walkable their cities are, where it's like here you can tell we built our infrastructure for vehicles, like 4 cars. There it's like they built it for walking, but then added the car accessibility in later. So it's like for driving, it's a little like I wouldn't want to drive there. I didn't rent a car when I was there. It's a little like kind of scary just because of how many people are just around and how narrow the roads
Yeah.
are. But
I've seen roads, like photos of roads, or like videos of roads in like the Netherlands, particularly like in Amsterdam, which is one of the top cities for walkability and bikeability.
yeah, I had a layover there. It was like 6 hours. I wish I could have just left the airport and gone and done something there because like it would have been sick to see.
And that I think that would be like that sounds almost like that like my ideal scenario for living in a city is like if I could walk or bike to like anywhere I need to go, that'd be awesome. And then like if I have to go like if I have to commute somewhere else in the city, like if we were to call the Twin Cities like just like the metro area just one city, like,
Yeah.
I have to go somewhere to St. Paul, like fuck it, I'll just take the train. But like anywhere else, like yeah, if I can just walk or bike anywhere, like that'd be ideal.
100%.
Which I
You
think
guys-
Minneapolis, like to Minneapolis's credit, I think is pretty. I think they do a pretty decent job of that. Like, and then if you need to like take a bus somewhere, it's fine. But like usually you can walk just about anywhere.
100%. I was gonna ask you guys, have you guys been playing any video games lately? I know before the cast we talked a bit. We don't have to go. This doesn't have to be a super long segment, but like I haven't been playing much lately. I haven't played in a couple of weeks. I do still need to finish up Grounded, but I have 2 games on my list, newer games that I want to buy. I'm probably only gonna buy one of them. But I used to play the old Prince of Persia games all the time. I don't know if you guys ever remember those games. I had it on like Game Boy SP and I think PlayStation. And they made a new one that came out in January that Ubisoft made. So it's probably a little bit of garbage, but I wanna play it. It's called Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I don't know if you guys have heard of or seen the gameplay. It looks like Souls-esque, but it's that side scroller, but it's 3D. It looks pretty cool. There's boss fights. And then I'm also torn between that and Baldur's Gate 3, which I know is like huge. Everybody loves that. What have you guys been playing lately? What you guys got? You guys been playing games at all, or is there anything that's caught your interest lately? What have you been doing?
I played like I don't play games anymore. Maybe I run up a Halo firefight with the homies, but I played the finals for the first time like 3 days ago.
How
That's a
is
fun
that?
game.
We played like 6 matches, and I did surprisingly well. Like I wasn't the worst player. I actually hit top of leaderboard for like only my matches. So I kind of want to play that again because that hit my dopamine where I'm like, I'm kind of good. But other
Damn,
than
I should
that,
download
just
that.
I don't know. I start a game. I like, and I'm just like 5 minutes in. I'm like, well, this fucking sucks, and then I just turn it off, and like that's the end of my video gaming. But I
That's
can only play games with friends
Yeah.
now at this point.
That's how I felt. Like my friends started a new Minecraft server. I booted up, I hit the menu. I'm like, I'm not fucking playing this after I updated it and everything. Like I was like,
Yeah,
they're like, come on, come play. They already are like a day or two in. And I like as soon as I hit the menu, I'm like, it's not time for Minecraft yet.
I
That
thought
phase
I
will
was a
hit
friend,
soon.
but yeah,
What about
I
you,
don't know
Lane?
about friends.
Any gaming
Uh,
lately?
s- yeah. So Steam Summer Sale, I purchased Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Valhalla, and I'll get into some opinions on Ubisoft, especially as of late in a sec here.
Yeah.
But Valhalla or not Valhalla, Odyssey out of the two has taken up most of my time
That one
between the two.
looked sick. I never got into the Assassin's Creed games personally.
I played a little bit of the first one, and that one was kind of fun. Otherwise, like otherwise the only other one beyond that was like Origins before that, and Origins had fun combat, but the environment was just very boring. And I wasn't hooked on the story at all. But
I like
uh I think Odyssey really
you gotta
hooked me
play
because
that one.
I've been I love ancient Greece for some reason. I wish there was kind of a little bit more like mythology in it. But I'm happy with just existing in like an ancient Greek society. And then I played very little of Valhalla so far just because I'd like to finish Odyssey
Yeah.
before I like actually like dive into that one because I don't want to split my attention between the two.
No, you never want, especially if it's like a game in the same like realm, series, same creator. Like the only one that ever piqued my interest and I still never played it was Black Flag because pirate shit is cool.
That was fun. It's a good one. I think I played
Otherwise
all of
like
them for a little bit at least.
uh the games that have actually been eating up my time as of late is like it's just because I don't have time for video games as of late.
Yeah.
Anytime I like play a game, it's like I just want to play what I know, or I just want to play a comfort game. So people are gonna make fun of me for this.
It's your comfort game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my comfort game is Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Dark Souls and Elden Ring. I've been doing a fresh run of Dark Souls 3 where the run is fist weapons only.
Hell
Mm.
yeah.
I got to for anyone
Fastest
that's played it.
boy.
Yeah, Castus, and then the Demon Fist is one that I just got, which is like fire infused fist weapon.
Demon Fist.
Um, but for anyone that like knows the series at all, so I got to Yorm the Giant the other night,
Hell yeah.
and if you and I'm trying to make it set a precedent of I only beat the bosses where I'm using the fist. Which Yorm the Giant, the gimmick behind it is they give you a magic weapon in the arena, that you like. That's the key to beating him,
Mhm.
and it makes it super easy. But that's not my thing for this run.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's
Um,
right. That's right. You get the sword and it you can just demolish him with it.
Yeah, it like they talk him up in the opening cutscene like he's this badass boss, and he looks so cool. But then
He
you get
does.
you get the storm ruler, and it just trivializes him, and it makes it like just laughably easy.
Yeah, one of my
Um,
favorite strength weapons is I think the big cleaver you get from him. I love that fucking thing.
yeah. But without the weapon, I do such like tiny slivers of damage, and he just one shots me, and it's like, well, now what? So I had to run and do like the Onion Knights quest in order to get him as a summon.
Thought
But
you
then
could
I
outwit
fucked
an
up.
onion.
Yeah, and then I fucked up and he died mid fight. So I can't use him anymore. So I had to phone a friend who owned the game to come help me. And that's how I had to beat Yorm the Giant.
Hell yeah, dude.
Nice.
And then the other one was Elden Ring, which I've been playing with a friend that like doing the she's new to it, so we've been doing the um what's it called? The seamless co-op mod where
Oh,
like
okay, yeah.
yeah, it just makes co-op a lot easier. Treats it a little bit more like an MMO in a way.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And then the other game that I've been like playing, like doing a little bit, like tiny bits here and there, is a game called Deep Rock Galactic, which is
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
fun.
A lot of people play that. That's a
Um,
popular game.
yeah, and for anyone that doesn't know about this game, you're basically dwarf miners in space. It's really cool.
Hell yeah, dude. I
Mhm.
space games to me, like that genre, it has to be a very specific style of space game. I don't know. The last space game that had me really hooked, and people are gonna laugh at this, and it's still, I guess, good now, but they started updating it so much. But I played Warframe, that free to play that's been out for years. But when it was first out, dude, I was hooked on that game on PC. I like played it with my friends, we farmed it, and then it just got like it's one of those games where you keep updating it for so long and so long and so long that it eventually just becomes the game it never once was. And there's so many changes that it's like you try to go back to something like that and it's completely unlike it was when you played it. And that's where I landed is like we took a break from it, we go back, they did all these changes and updates that just like didn't really click. But yeah, space games are just as a genre hard for me to get into. But when it's something like Starbound, where it's very Terraria like, where it's like space is in it, but you can also like go to planets and things like that. Super cool. Like I liked Outer Worlds by Obsidian, kind of for that
That was a fun
aspect.
game.
Like where like I don't know. People complain like why do you make a space game and you can't fly your ship around? It's like I'd rather like not do that. I'd rather just like the concept is space and I can go to these different planets, like No Man's Sky, right? Like I like that type of shit.
Yeah, No Man's Sky, like flying the ship around was kind of cool, but like trying to travel from like planet to planet was
It
a
was
bit of a pain
horrible.
in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Like
know.
I would much rather have the like the actual space travel of it be less Star Trekky in a way, I guess. Where like I want it to have a point.
I agree. Like, I think what it should do is like it's almost like it should fast travel you, but it's like a Pokemon game where it's like it rolls a dice and oh, halfway there you ran into a battle, and then like you're in the middle of space in between these two planets, and it puts you in there, and now you're in like a battle quick, and then you continue your fast travel after you beat the battle, or if you die. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I
Yeah.
don't want to sit there going into warp speed and waiting fucking 5 minutes for me to get to a planet. Like, that's what I wish I kind of did. It's like it did cutscenes and then you just had a chance to roll to encounter something or something to happen or like, oh no, when your
Yeah.
thrusters went out, you have to go repair it. You know, I don't know.
Or like make the travel shorter, I guess. Like if I'm gonna be out in space, like make like the time frame of me like being in empty space make that shorter or like non-existent at all. Because
Exactly.
because I like No Man's Sky is on like one extreme end of the spectrum, but I think Outer Worlds from Obsidian, I think they were like the other extreme where I didn't like that because there was no like
Yeah.
space travel where like it was you just fast travel to the next planet
Yeah.
and that was it. And I didn't like that.
That's fair. I get that. Yeah, there needs to be like a hybrid approach. And yeah, they are two very different extremes. But I guess to end the gamer talk, like, what would you guys get? Baldur's Gate 3 or The Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown? I don't know, man. I'm leaning
Baldur's
towards
Gate.
I know, but I'm leaning towards
You
Prince of
can
Persia
fuck
just because I haven't played those
Paul.
games.
You can fuck as a bear.
Yeah,
So you're
that doesn't
if you're into that
doesn't
type of
really
thing,
that's not something I'm looking for in a game.
a human that turned into a bear, so
I
it's
know
not
for a fact
bestiality and it's
Baldur's
legal.
Gate 3, I know for a fact with Baldur's Gate 3, I'm probably going to get more for my money. Cuz well, it's not a Ubisoft game first of all. And second of all, it's like, D&D. It's got a lot of replayability. There's a lot of it's
Yeah,
like different,
I got another one for you. Do you want to run around playing as a scrawny little Persian guy, or do you want to run around with 3 big-titted goth bitches that are witches, casting spells and killing demons? I mean,
It's
don't
cut
know,
and
Paul.
dry. Yeah.
Yeah, you're cutting dry here. You're not leaving me here a lot of choices.
the D&D nerd in me would definitely say Baldur's Gate 3. I'm not super fond of like the top down stuff, but like anything else in that game, like I like it looks so much fun.
Yeah.
And I've never touched a Prince of Persia game, so I'm very hesitant to say like anything on Prince of Persia.
What
I'm
I think
really-
I need to do is
I had
look
a
at
lot of
more
experience.
gameplay from Prince of Persia, but those games were fucking sick, dude.
We
The
had
old
them
ones.
on the Game Boy. Yeah, I have a
Yeah.
lot of experience with that first level. Must have played that 1,000 times and never made it past it. So I know quite a bit about the game's mechanics. It's pretty fun. I'd like to
Yeah,
play
I
that
guess-
one again just so I can beat it.
Yeah.
I guess if Prince of Persia, the new one, plays anything like the modern Assassin's Creed games, I'd probably say I'd probably get it.
For sure.
But I do want to go into a bit of a rant on Ubisoft for a
Yeah,
second
do it.
here. So what the fuck is up with Ubisoft? Like their DRM being really annoying, where you have to be online in order to
It's
play
terrible.
a single player game.
It's terrible.
So
Awful, yeah.
if like my internet goes out for whatever reason and it's like, oh shit, like well, I can't like play any of my MMOs, or not that I play a lot of them, or like, oh, I finished my tasks for work for the day and I want to have some leisure time tonight and I want to fire up Assassin's Creed Odyssey. If I'm offline and can't connect to their servers, they do not allow me to play the game. And it's like, what the fuck? I paid money for this game. Let me play it.
Games.
What the hell is this?
Yeah, it's super dumb, and I think Ubisoft this time last year was in some bad financial trouble because their games just weren't selling well, and I think they still might be that way. Like I don't know, man. I don't know what they can do. They've made a lot, but you're right. That's just one of the many wrong moves they've made, and one of them being like, didn't they have something like probably around a year ago where if you didn't log into Uplay in a certain amount of time, like you lose your account? Wasn't there like a certain like?
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case.
And they don't put their games in Steam anymore now. It's all in their stupid proprietary launcher.
They do sell it on Steam, but it is like
it opens in the launcher.
Effectively what it is like you still have to have the Uplay launcher.
Mhm.
So you can buy it on the Steam storefront and use Steam as your game launcher. But even launching it from Steam, it launches it from Uplay.
Like that's just
it's really stupid.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's kind of like when Rockstar made their own launcher, like for all like the Grand Theft Autos and whatever other games. It's just like, stop making launchers, please. Stop.
Yeah, like I do get it where like Steam does have to have some level of competition.
Yes.
But not every major game publisher needs their own launcher and storefront.
100%.
Because then it becomes an issue of like streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, Crunchyroll, Paramount Plus, Peacock, HBO Max. Like like you got to have all these streaming services in order to play all these games, and it's like, listen, I'm not fond of monopolies, but I do want to have like, if like I do want to be able to buy my shit from one store. Like if I'm only if like Target has their competition of Walmart.
Yeah.
But I have the freedom to only buy my shit at Target or at Walmart.
Exactly.
And like, hey, it works. Like yeah, Target also has competition with like let's say like IKEA as well, where like you can buy furniture and decoration at Target, or you could buy furniture at IKEA. But like, if I choose to only shop at one store, I can get everything that I need at that one store.
Yeah.
So like Microsoft, I think, is doing a smart thing where like it used to be like we're only going to sell like Halo on like the Microsoft store.
Mm-hmm.
But then they're like, okay, never mind. We're going to start selling games on Steam for the people that only want to buy their shit on Steam.
Yeah. And it makes sense. And
Yeah,
it's like, why not put it? It's just like, related to video games too, where exclusives are now just going to PC and all the other consoles after a certain amount of time. It's like, that's how it kind of should be. Like, but also too, I do totally get the PS5 has no games, because I have a PS5 and there isn't a lot of exclusives for it, which like make me think that like was getting the PS5 like a dumb move, because there isn't many exclusives for it, and everything that I can get that was exclusive is now on PC. Like for instance, and a game that you'd probably like if you've never played it that's on PC now is called Returnal. It's very Souls-like, but it's in space. It's like, it's like that. It's it's weird.
Counter argument, an even dumber move is buying an Xbox nowadays, like the modern one, because any game that comes out on Xbox is also on PC.
Yeah.
So if you have a PC,
just
why the fuck would you ever have an Xbox?
Like, I totally get where consoles still have a commonplace of like the family man, the guy that doesn't know much about computers, comes home, just wants to turn the thing on, have it work, play, grab the controller and play it. That's convenient. Which is why I think the best console hands down of this generation is still the Switch. And I don't even play mine that much. I still think
PCs are still very expensive.
They are.
Like you're gonna easily spend 2 or 3 times the amount that you would on an Xbox to have a PC. But your PC is gonna be a lot more versatile.
Yeah, you can do it in what it can do. Anything you want.
Nintendo's got the best batch of exclusives though, especially now that you can do that service where you can get all the old games, you pay monthly, and you just get like the entire back catalog of every single Nintendo game ever made, like on your Switch, and it's all works with the controllers, and like I like that. But what I don't like is Nintendo's prices. Like the games are ridiculously priced. Like they're still $60 for like a game you would think is
that in person disc or like the chip, or is
digital
that,
as well?
Okay, then you might as well just get the physical.
Yeah.
Is it the thing where like are they doing the thing where you can like actually buy the digital copy at fucking full price, or like
basically
like is there like a subscription less? Okay, or is it like a subscription service where like you can only access it behind the subscription paywall, like
no
Game Pass, where you're basically renting the games?
No, so what they have is they have their store where you can buy all their games outright, whether it be a digital copy or you go to the store and buy the chip. As far as I know, maybe I'm wrong, I think digital and the chip are the same price. That, or it's like you go to the store and it's like $10 more. I think they're still charging what other new AAA games charge, like $70 for a new game, like on a Switch. But they also have this separate service. I forget what it's called, because they also have like an Xbox Live type thing that allows you to play online, which is completely different. But they also have this service you can pay. I don't know how much it is a month. It's like $20 to $40, somewhere in that range. But that gets you like all the old games that weren't made for Switch, that were like on the Super Nintendo or the 64, that have then been, essentially it's an emulator that like that Nintendo owns, that you pay a subscription for. And that's what it is. And I think that that's cool, because I've fucked with emulators. They're great. They're awesome. You want to know what I don't like about them? Fucking with the emulators to get the games to work and to get your controller mapped and all that shit, which is why I think it's Nintendo's like, ooh, we notice a bunch of people want to steal our fucking content all the time and play them on their computer. Let's make a service that actually works in a Nintendo library and have all the controls already mapped to these old games and everything like that. So like, I can respect that because they filled. That's the difference. Is like when people get mad about piracy, the people are doing it because there isn't an avenue to get those old things anymore. But they were like, hey, let's fill this market gap and have an ability for people to get those old things and play them well and not janky and busted and infect your computer with malware, getting the ROM.
Yeah.
So like, I do kind of like, I'm like, damn, Nintendo's greedy, but also like good play because you filled the market gap and I bet you're making a shit ton more money now.
I think there should, because from what I'm hearing, it's only their emulation service for the old games is only for the pay, like the subscription service.
Yeah, like you
am
can
I right
only
there?
access. Yeah, you can only access those games if you pay for that specific service they have.
Which I don't like. I do
I
not
get
like
it.
that.
I think subscription services suck, man.
Yeah.
But it's the world we're in now. Like, dude, my buddy's still got a copy of cracked Adobe CS5 that he sent me. But like, I do pay for Premiere and everything. I pay for Adobe.
I do too. I do too. Granted, like I can't use it anymore because I own cinema cameras and shoot everything in like 4K, and like it just, CS5 is probably like 12 or 13 years old at this point.
It crashes a lot for no reason. Like,
well, and I don't know if they like had the proxy system down at that point in time either. So that like I do still pay for it. I hate paying a subscription for it. Like I would very much happily
it's terrible.
I would drop money, a significant amount of money to just have like the current version of Adobe Premiere Pro and After Effects in its current state and just never have to worry about updates or anything.
Yep, I agree, man.
I would happily buy this version outright for a significant amount of money if it meant I'd never had to pay a subscription service.
I agree.
Or a subscription fee.
Like they did that when they went in between. I think it was CS6 was the last one before they went to Adobe Creative Cloud. And they did this weird in between where at a certain point, there are people out there that have a version after CS6 where you could buy it outright or do the subscription where they're doing it. And it was like something like between 500 and 1,000 per app, depending on which one at the time you're going to buy. I think like a Adobe Photoshop was $600, but then you have it and all you got was security updates or something. You didn't get feature updates. And there are people out there that have that right now. And I'm like jealous, but also like, there are a lot of cool things right now that are in the current Adobe Photoshop and Premiere Pro that are like, fuck, dude, these tools are so good now, though, man.
The generative.
Well, I was still in college. I was still in college at the time that they did that transition. And I wish I had the funds or like had taken the leap on just dropping my life savings at the time on it. Cause I think like for the video stuff, it was like $1,500.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's a lot of money right now.
For a college kid, dude, that's a lot of money.
For a college kid, yeah. Like in community college.
Yeah.
But it's like nowadays, like in, me and who's almost 30, it's like, fuck, I wish I would have done that. Like that's almost nothing at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
But I'm actually like, I really want to actually after this annual subscription is up, I'm very tempted to just cancel the subscription and just buy DaVinci Resolve outright, because that app's only $300.
Yeah,
for like the pro version, and then I can use like full size versions, like I can max out settings on my FX3 and use it just fine in DaVinci Resolve. And I'm going to have much better color tools.
Is DaVinci Resolve video and photo editing, or is it just video?
It's only video. Gotcha. So I wouldn't cancel the Adobe subscription outright. I would just downgrade back to the photography only package where It's only like $10 a month, and I get like Photoshop and Lightroom. The only app that I cannot find a viable replacement for right now is After Effects.
How often are you using After Effects often? Like when you edit, are you going into Premiere Pro but then pulling it into After Effects doing things and then pulling it back into Premiere
Not
Pro?
always. Like usually when I'm editing a wedding, like I'm only ever doing it in like Premiere. But there are certain projects that I do where it like After Effects is like my primary app for developing things. Like anytime I do like an audio visualizer for a song, like if a band ever hires me to do that, I have a template that I built in After Effects for that. And it just looks really cool.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll send you guys a link to one I did recently.
Perfect.
Well,
Yeah.
But otherwise, like I've also been hired to do VFX before, and I know the workflow a lot better for VFX working in After Effects than I do like a node-based workflow like Fusion in Resolve or like Blender. Like if you ask me to do VFX in Blender, I'm at
Oh
a
my god.
loss.
It's so complex. I downloaded it one time and tried to use it and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. It's kind of like when I really wanted to take making beats seriously in Fruity Loops, and I watched so many videos and took so many notes, and then I just lost interest. Like I just never got good at it. I know I just need to keep messing with it. And I still have Fruity Loops. My girlfriend bought me some extended package with like a bunch of other things in it, and I just need to like use it. But I don't know if I ever will.
Destiny's just waiting for you to make an EDM beat for months. She's like, I wonder when he's gonna use the present. Like, where's my fucking song? He's been waiting on it. Paul texts me. He's like, "Where's the fucking song?" I don't know.
Yeah,
I'd be pissed.
I bought Fruity Loops several years ago, thinking like, oh, I'm gonna use it for like all the synths and stuff and like doing orchestration, because trying to do orchestration in Reaper is a little bit of a pain in the ass. But then I just never learned the tools and just I still have it installed. I just never touch it.
Same.
Unless a band I'm working with like records in it and has no idea how to export stems and they want me to
Yeah.
mix. It's like, all right, just send me the Fruity Loops file and
Yeah.
I'll like open it up. I'll get the stems organized and I'll do it myself, because a lot of bands that I work with who record in Fruity Loops don't know a lot about audio production. Like they know how to record themselves, they just don't know a lot about like audio production in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's I don't know much about audio production either, so maybe I will probably be hitting you up once my girlfriend and I get married. I don't know if we're gonna have a big wedding, but I'll probably have you shoot that or something. It's not gonna be something massive, but you might have to travel to Duluth, but it probably shouldn't be too bad.
Oh, dude, I'd happily travel to Duluth again.
Nice.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah,
I'll book you for my funeral.
Yeah.
Photos.
Wouldn't be the first time I've been booked for a funeral.
Yeah. All smile. I don't know. I could just be so bad. You show up in a full clown costume. Hey, I'm ready to film the funeral.
Yeah,
hey,
you know,
so what's up with this funeral? I don't know. I feel like
the clown nose is squeaking. Yeah.
Yeah. Big.
I have been hired for a funeral before. It was like a Nigerian funeral. And it was.
God, I knew it.
It was a bit of a culture shock because it was like I didn't know what I was getting into when I was doing it. Like they hired me to do it, and I was like, all right, what's the timeline of events here? Like, what's the itinerary? And it was like they're doing the morning at the church service. They did the burial, and then they went to some like they rented out a venue and they threw a massive party. And that's just, I guess, Nigerian culture where they like they mourn, but then they celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like
it's
not celebrating their
Mexico,
death. It's celebrating. Yeah, it's not celebrating their death. It's celebrating like the life that they lived.
Yeah,
that
like
makes
a Cuban
sense.
funeral. Like it's an all-day party, man. You get fucked up, you have a good time. That's how. Isn't that how you want your funeral though? Everyone's having a good time. You know, everyone's dancing, getting down. I mean, like, I don't know. I feel. Feel like I was gonna say something way worse about the Nigerian funeral, but for some reason, when you said you felt, you took pictures of a funeral, I'm like, it's got to be some foreign, because we over here, we don't film funerals or anything
See,
like that.
but
It's like,
that's a
what? I
good
always
way to
wondered
look
about
at it,
that.
though. That's what I never understood about how much people spend on weddings, is because at the end of the day, yeah, it's your special day, but it's for everybody else. Majority of the money is like food and like it's for everybody else that's attending your wedding, which is
Mhm.
great, which is why the whole like other cultures thing, such as like Mexico or Spanish, like Dia de los Muertos, all that stuff where they kind of like honor the dead or celebrate the life they live, makes so much more sense to me for like spending money on something like that as opposed to like these
Right.
people are
Yeah.
allowing the government to get involved in their marital ship.
Yeah,
Congrats.
well, and like, yeah, a lot of the money that you spend on a wedding, sure, it's yeah, like it's for other people. Like sometimes like you're gonna be spending like 30 to like on the high end like $50 a plate for like
Yeah.
your catering, which $30 a plate. I
Depending on how
get
many
it.
people.
A
Yeah.
it sounds like a lot. Like especially if you have like 150, 200 people, like
It
that's
adds up.
yeah, that's what like 6K on just catering.
hmm You probably don't even get to eat most of it either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you're paying for everyone else.
what do you get to cater a funeral? What would you want people walking around eating spaghetti and meatballs, like tacos? What do you think you're gonna have?
Dude,
There was some
honestly.
really good food at the funeral that I shot.
Oh,
I
really?
can imagine.
Was it
Yeah.
like fancy stuff or was it like a
It was
backyard wedding kind of thing?
no, it was I can't fully remember. The thing I remember that I like missed out on was like fried plantains.
Ooh, those are
I'm
good.
like, "Oh, I want that." And I didn't get any. But there was like yeah, there was some really fascinating food there that I just like I devoured it. It was so good.
Good thing that they weren't those cannibalistic Nigerians, because that would not.
God.
That'd be the culture shock right
Um,
there.
no, when Destiny and I, for the longest time, Destiny and I were always just like, oh, we're just gonna do a courthouse marriage. Let's not do a wedding. Let's just go on a super long honeymoon. But then as we went to weddings, we're like, fuck, it would be kind of
Yeah.
nice to do something and have people over. And I think like what it's gonna come down to is if we do have a wedding, we're just gonna clean up the house nice. We're probably gonna get put a fence in on the new house we're gonna buy. And we're probably just gonna have it in the backyard. My brother's an ordained minister. We'll just have him marry us, and we'll do like a reception outside, summer wedding, have like yard games and like a food buffet outside, like get some I don't know. I want there to be taco in a bag, very basic, but then there's like some other things like maybe a candy bar or get like some fucking dickhead to come with like an ice cream truck. I don't know. Like it could just
The,
pull up.
there was an ice cream bar or an ice cream truck at the last wedding in
Yeah.
October that I
See,
worked.
that's a good idea. I want a
Mhm.
clown at the wedding.
There was the
Get you
very
out of the
first
cloud.
one that I worked.
That's
So they had rented out a space at like a national park or not a national state park in South Dakota.
Oh, very cool.
And it was Newton Hills in like Canton, South Dakota. And it was like that was where their ceremony was at. And then they pitched a couple tents and they had someone come out with like a portable wood fire oven and they did a pizza party for the reception.
Oh,
that's
that's
it.
It
super
was
cool.
That's what you want.
it was awesome.
Yeah, pizza at my funeral. Pizza
Everybody
party.
grab a
Pizza
stick.
party.
They have to cook their own hot dogs over a fucking.
Oh, and then another one that I worked end of October. It was at like a campsite where like open secret. It was a campsite where like it was a retreat where people like rented out to do mushrooms
Okay.
and camp out. But I picked this out because I like on the cabin that or like the giant house or giant cabin, whatever, like there were these lasers that were like doing all sorts of like wonky patterns by the time like nightfall happened.
Yeah.
But end of the night, like after the reception, they did this thing where like they had like a s'mores pack to give to everyone and they started a fire and you could like everyone could do like
Oh yeah.
could roast marshmallows over the fire. It was pretty cool.
That is a good idea. Okay.
And this
Hell
was
yeah.
like 3 hours away in Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's probably just in the
Like middle of
fucking
nowhere,
Yeah.
Grand Marsh, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Like you're very secluded then that way, which I can appreciate.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't want it in the state park. Someone playing soccer through your wedding or something would just be an issue.
It was the area in the state park was secluded
Frisbee
enough.
golf.
Yeah.
Hits you in the head.
Like I'm
or
pretty
something.
sure that they like it's an area that's like dedicated for weddings that they just lock off
Oh,
for
that makes sense.
Right.
people do it. Yeah, people to do weddings there.
Oh, okay. What was I gonna say? Are you guys aren't really into football. Are you guys gonna watch the Super Bowl? I know even people that aren't into football will watch the Super Bowl or at least like be in the presence of a TV while it's on. Do you guys care too much about this year's Super Bowl or the Super Bowl 58, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers? I don't really care about either team. I used to really be a Chiefs fan. The whole Taylor Swift drama thing has taken me out of it, man. I can't stand her.
Ooh,
Like,
I wasn't a fan until I saw those AI pictures, and then I became a fan quick. So
I refuse to believe that AI pictures came out because I've never seen them. So I will refuse to believe that there's AI pictures of her until I see
I
it.
got him. Oh, I
You
got
got
him.
'em.
Trust me, I got him. I got a
They're
backlog. A lot of them
horrible.
have to do with Oscar the Grouch.
They're
I don't know what it is
terrible,
about
dude.
that.
They're
I'm not lying
horrible.
about that
They're
one, but they're pretty,
horrible.
pretty bad.
I'm-
Yeah,
I'm
I've
very
been
much-
something to
I'm-
speak about.
I'm a denier of this stuff until I see it.
Yeah, good.
that's fair.
Deny it. You don't want to see it.
Yeah. But like I'll like just for the better because I'll say it. I like Taylor Swift's music.
That's okay. A lot of people do. You would not
yeah,
be right. You
like,
know, a lot of people agree with you.
Dude, 1989, pretty good album. Red was also a pretty good album. I didn't really listen to the new one, to be quite honest, but I just haven't given it the time yet. But I always forget that like the Super Bowl is happening until like I start seeing people talking about it. So
Such as now. It's a Sunday.
yeah, like right now.
Yeah,
It'll be
right.
tomorrow
I
when
had-
this comes out. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have a friend coming up from Sioux Falls to like celebrate her birthday in the cities, and she's hitting me up to like come hang out, and she's like, "Oh, there's an emo night in Minneapolis that I want to do," and I'm like, "I don't know if I can afford that. That's like $30 that I just don't have." So she's like, "Well, are you a fan of football?" I'm like, "Why does that matter?" And she's like, "Well, so my boyfriend wants to watch the Super Bowl, but you and I can like do something else while he watches the Super Bowl." I'm like, "Is that the weekend you're coming up?"
Yeah.
So like if she's like, "Yeah, we're going to go to like some bar with like the Super Bowl," and I'm like, "Dude, I'm going to get so overwhelmed if it's like some sports bar."
Yeah.
And like there's a cuz like every bar in the cities that has like any kind of TV is definitely going to have the Super Bowl on, and it's definitely going to be busy.
That's
And
100%
I'm like,
going to be
"Oh,
back.
fuck." Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm like,
That-
dude, I'll get breakfast with you. I don't know if I want to like go to like a bar with the Super Bowl on around
Yeah.
like 200 other people. This is gonna be
Seems
insane.
obnoxious, I
It would,
guess, if you weren't
yeah,
doing
like
what
you
they're
know,
talking
one
about.
thing I haven't done yet that I've just wanted to do for the novelty, even though I know it'd be overwhelming, is go to that Tom's Watch Bar and watch a UFC fight or watch football. Because I bet
Yeah.
you that would be fucking fun with like a group of guys. Like, and you know, I already know you're gonna get shafted on the liquor prices and whatever, but it's just like the atmosphere would be kind of cool. Because to me, sitting in the stands or sitting outside of an octagon at the actual thing, paying that much just to see it through, you know, whatever, is not as appealing to me as it is watching it on a big screen surrounded by a crowd kind of deal.
Yeah. I would for the experience, just to say I did it, I would go to a football game at like US Bank Stadium once.
Okay, I
Just-
should probably do that.
Just for the experience. Cause like
Should go see the
like, I live-
Vikings.
yeah, like I now live in a city that's like large enough to have its own NFL team, and it's like a big deal. Even though like the NFL team just notoriously sucks.
Yeah, like we're good sometimes, but then we
Decent,
always
yeah.
blow it. Yeah, we're decent. I'd say we're like a mid-tier football team, and we always have been. And we've won a Super Bowl before, like it's happened.
Oh, I didn't know we did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've won a Super Bowl or two, a couple, I think.
I know
maybe?
we've been
I'm wrong.
in the Super Bowl, and I say we, even though I've only lived here for like 2 years. But like my dad grew up in Minnesota, so he's always been a Minnesota Vikings fan. And like
Holy shit, you're right. They've never won a Super Bowl, but they've been to the
I know
conference championship 3 times.
I know they've been in it a few times.
Yeah,
they've never won it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I've always been a
God,
Vikings fan by proxy.
Yeah.
Because of my dad. But also I would probably like even if not by proxy, I would probably be a Minnesota Vikings fan just because Vikings are cool. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it's also you're growing up Sioux Falls, you're right next to Minnesota. Like that's kind of like your closest team technically. I'd get it.
Well, weirdly enough, like in Sioux Falls, when I worked in broadcast, the games that we would get on either side of the river. So, fun fact, like in South Dakota, like East River and West River are 2 separate markets.
Okay.
Much like I think Duluth is a separate television market than Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think you're right.
But like oftentimes like for NFL, on CBS, so East and West River, like when I worked at the CBS station in Sioux Falls, we had like we broadcast out of the same studio for both markets. So we own the station that was in Rapid City. But because they were in separate markets, we would sometimes because of CBS Network, we would sometimes get different football games. So Sioux Falls would, for some reason, instead of getting Vikings games, we'd always get Kansas City Chiefs games.
That's fucking weird.
And then Rapid City would get Denver Broncos games because they're so Sioux Falls, I think, is like 6 hours away from Kansas City.
Yeah.
And then Rapid City is 6 hours away from Denver.
Interesting.
Yeah. So trying to run live commercials for both of those games simultaneously was always difficult.
Yeah. To me, the Super Bowl this year, not that exciting with the 2 teams, in my opinion. But I guess that bodes another question I just thought of. I don't know if you guys have traditions with Super Bowls or when you've watched them with family. What is one snack or food that is kind of reoccurring that you'd usually have at the Super Bowl that you love? Now, for me, and it sounds kind of cringy, my parents always used to go and order one of those, like you can get those crazy Subway catering subs where it's like a big sub that's like cut into like multiple chunks. There's something about getting a few slices of that, putting it on like a styrofoam or a paper plate, putting your condiments on it, and just like that taste at that time. And then like my mom would also make like meatballs in a crock pot and like in like little mini like cocktail weenies. And I just remember that specifically, and it has such like a nostalgic taste and memory. How about you guys? Do you have any like Super Bowl snacks or something that's like your favorite or food?
Nothing I can't really maybe like I can't find at the Thanksgiving table, you know what I mean? It seems like our mom kept it pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Like the shit we already had before. So nothing
But like no taco
nostalgic.
dip, nothing crazy.
Nah, I don't really give a fuck about any of that, to be honest. I just don't care about football. I'm just excited for it to be over so I don't have to hear about it anymore. Just to be honest with you.
That's fair.
My dad owns a big green egg like smoker grill thing.
Those things are fucking. I used to have to sell those when I worked at Ace Hardware. Those things are sick.
Yeah, it's awesome. So he would always make it a point to make like a brisket on that thing.
Oh God, it's so good.
And then
it's
like
so good.
Yeah, and then he would also do like he bought like a pizza stone for it too.
Yeah.
And we would do
he knows what's up. Your dad knows what's going
does.
on.
We would do he would get like a bunch of like Jack's pizzas, like the shittiest, cheapest frozen pizza you could get.
But they taste so good on there. They're so good.
Dude, it's so good. You can cook those in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, dude. And you know what? I'll
yeah.
do you one better. At some point, if he's ever cracking that bad boy out, go grab yourself a Papa Murphy's take and bake thin crust and throw it on there. It'll blow
We
your
have done that
fucking mind
before.
away. Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, it's otherwise like my mom would always go to like Hy-Vee and pick up like a meat and cheese tray.
Yeah, man.
And that was usually our
like a charcuterie board, yeah.
Yeah, and that was usually our like Super Bowl snacks. I always see like, so the algorithm knows me a little too well, but it's something I don't like. It's something where like it's so generic I don't really care. But it knows that I really like food.
Oh
So
yeah,
I get a lot of
same
like
here.
really cool recipes, and I just because I don't like I'm not on Instagram too much. I don't see it a lot, but I always see like stuff where it's like, oh, this would be a really fun like sporting event snack.
Yeah,
Uh, one that I've always wanted to do is like make like a really good cheese dip.
dude,
I
yeah,
want to,
and do it, man. It's not as hard as you would think. You just kind of need like a crock pot and
yeah,
and time and a lot of cheese.
crockpot, a block of Velveeta, some milk, some chorizo,
Yeah,
and then like a bunch of peppers.
yeah. You can get really crafty. Like that sounds like a Mexican style restaurant type of queso, like or like cheese. You can
Yeah,
do that. And like that's the thing is like there's many different types of melted or nacho cheeses you can make, whether it's like Mexican style, restaurant style. Those specifically for nachos, like it's pretty sick. Like and that is good. You should do that at some point. Like that's one thing I'm looking forward to. Soon to be a homeowner is just like having parties and being able to do those recipes and make them for people because I don't know, that's fun and it's
yeah.
delicious and it gives you an excuse to make things you probably shouldn't be eating and eating a shit ton of it.
Just as someone who loves to cook, like I like if I were a homeowner or like if I were someone who cared enough about sports, I would love to have people over to like for the game or for a game or something
Yeah,
and just play, or even like honestly, probably not sports. I'd love to host like D&D at my house
that'd be
sometime.
cool. Yeah, and that's
Mhm.
even like another like yeah, you can have the TV playing some TV show in the background or something on there, YouTube or music playing. You're playing games with your friends. Everybody brought snacks. You made a dinner or you made some type of meal that people can eat. It's that just sounds like so cozy. Like you think about that, it's like damn, like this is like a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like I hope to have people over for like fights and stuff at my house once we get kind of situated, but that's down the road, you know.
Mhm.
Um Jackson, you got any topics you want to talk about?
Nothing super hot. Not this week. Pretty low on it. I know Lane mentioned emo night a second ago, and I was like, oh, I'm going to emo night this Saturday. So that'll be fun.
Is that in the
See how that goes.
cities?
No, it's at the Flame, in Duluth. I've been going there a lot, actually. I've been up in the club, throwing, partying up and shit. I don't drink much, but I do drink a little bit. But no, I've been having a lot of fun. Saw a comedy show at Dub's Irish Pub the uh the other day, last Friday. It was
What is
okay.
that?
Some local stand-up guys. Two of them were local, the other ones weren't. Opener, trash. The second guy was a 50-year-old black guy who's pretty funny. A lot of dad jokes, so didn't hit a lot with the younger crowd.
Yeah.
A lot of hecklers. So I had to deal with that. It's pretty funny some of the things they said to the hecklers.
Y-
He was pretty mean to them. Like they always apologize, but I'd like to go up there and just be mean to them. They're like,
Yeah, I can't
"Lady,
I hate
lady,
hecklers
shut
at
the fuck
sporting
up,
events
you stupid
especially.
blonde bitch." He's like yelling at her, which is pretty funny. And then the headliner, they all played for like or talked for like 45 minutes. It's pretty funny. He was really good. He was like Bill Burr essentially in terms of the screaming, and he was just picking people out of the crowd and being really fucking mean to them. But it was really funny. Thank God he didn't pick me. We
Yeah.
were all the way in the back, but yeah, no, it's fun. I want to go to more comedy shows. There's actually one tomorrow I might go to.
I
Some
should
woman
go to
telling me
one
I
with you
should go.
sometime once I'm back up there. That'd be a
Yeah,
good time.
pretty fun. It's just weird because you're at a bar, so when you go outside of the comedy room, it's like a it's like a bar on a Saturday night. So it's fucking crazy out there, but it's
Yeah.
weird how it's so silent inside of there. But yeah,
Yeah.
fun stuff.
I can't stand hecklers at sporting events. Like I don't really comedy, I haven't been to a show, so I don't know how to deal with them there. But like when on my birthday 2 years ago, I don't know if you guys have ever been to like local MMA or local boxing fights, but typically it's like you just got a bunch of round tables around the octagon and you buy certain tickets and it's like kind of first come first serve and we got like one of the closer tables, but you end up sitting with like other people at that round table and
Right.
she got me tickets to go to this local MMA fight and it also had night fights, so there were two people like suits of armor in the octagon that literally fought in like night gear. It was fucking sick. That was honestly cooler than the MMA fights. But we had these people that were very like uppity rich people, I could tell, that were just talking so much shit about people they didn't know about. Oh, the dude got his ass kicked. It's like, yeah, he did. Like, oh, why do you even try? And it's like, do you know how tough it is to train for a fight and actually just get into that octagon and do that? No matter if you do get fucking knocked out or you lose, like it takes balls, man. And those people, like, I would tell would never do shit like that because they're just so uppity. Like they don't have the balls themselves. I don't know. I don't like shit like that. Shitting on like, you know,
Yeah, I mean,
other
just don't
just
heckle
people that
people, I guess. They
I don't
were,
know.
I don't know. I don't know.
There's a difference between heckling and then just being extremely obnoxious. Where like they were almost picking fights with like the families of the fighters and shit at the other
Oof.
tables with how much shit they've been talking. And it's just
Mm,
like, dude, it's such a bad look. Like you don't look cool.
No.
Like you could tell they're like the people that like peaked in high school. Like
mm.
Yeah, back when I went to like local shows in like in the surrounding area of Sioux Falls, like so I had a lot of friends that played in bands, but I didn't personally play in a band. But I'd go to their shows and like as a joke, I used to like heckle them. Like oh you guys suck or oh get off the stage, but they like it was my friends' bands. But then like my social awareness was not super great where like I started doing that to like other bands of people that I didn't know. And I was like, it took me years to realize like, oh Jesus, I was such a fucking dickhead
Mm.
when doing that.
yeah. Yeah, dude, we all were that guy at one point. Like there's no
Yeah.
way you weren't
I wasn't.
No, I was like, yeah, I was
I remember
like
that.
16, 17 years old when I was doing this. And it's
No,
like,
that's fine. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's like
reasonable.
I was a fucking
this
dickhead.
this was 2
Yeah.
months ago. I was gonna be like, that's
No,
a little rough.
no.
No, I've only been to one concert where they actually booed an act. It was the last time I saw Bones. They booed the opening Cat Soup, which to be fair, he did suck. Man came on playing some really soft stuff, but no one wanted that. But he just only played soft stuff, and they booed him. I was like, this is kind of fucked up. Like the poor guy's up there, DJing it out, and you're booing him. Like fuck you guys. Like honestly, if I was the main act, I would have just not played that night. I've been like, fuck you guys. But hecklers, yeah, I don't know. They're pretty funny. Just the way they dealt with them, I guess, was pretty
Yeah.
funny. Don't heckle though. Don't be a heckler.
Well,
Nobody likes to heckle.
we are at an hour and a half, boys. I think I'd like to wrap it up, call it a show here.
Gucci.
Jackson, you got anything you wanted to say quick? And
Oh,
then
I
I'll
got a
move
lot
on
of
to Lane
things to say.
Yeah, go
on
for it.
Paul. Yeah. No, I appreciate the continued support. We got some guests lined up. We're continuing giving you guests. And then we don't have guests. You still got us, so you can't even complain. So shut up. You want to get on Gutterball? Seriously, let us know. Look how just take a second and look at how fucking cool Lane looks on Gutterball tonight. And you could be there. You could be there for a small fee. But no, get on Gutterball. Let us know. Hit us up. Check out all Lane's works. It's in the description, man. You have no excuses. We're gonna put some music videos in there for y'all. We're giving you the hookup. All right. I'll let Paul take it from here. But thanks so much for watching.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
They
Yeah.
made me drop $6,000 for this appearance, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hey,
See.
it ain't cheap,
Yeah, it
Yeah,
ain't
our
cheap.
time ain't cheap. Lane,
worth
thank you
it.
so much for coming on, man. It was great catching up. We do got to do something outside of the cast here before I do move back up north 100%. Just hit me up anytime. But dude, thank you so much for coming on, having good conversation. I thought this was a great show. Is there anything you'd like to pimp? Just audio wise, everything will be in the description. But is there anything you want to shout out? Go for it.
So I've got one more thing to say. One of the things that I'm planning for this summer, my band Graveless is playing a show called Four Winds Festival in Sioux Falls, South Dakota
Hell yeah.
on July 19th. It's a Friday. So if anyone listening to this for whatever reason wants to go out to fucking Sioux Falls, South Dakota of all places, in the middle of July, there's going to be an awesome music and arts festival. There's going to be a lot of talented musicians and a lot of talented artists that are going to be there showing their work and playing some awesome music. I'm pretty sure it's spread across like 3 or 4 venues across downtown for the 2 days. But my band Graveless is playing the Friday date of that show. So a lot of the prep work that I've been doing as of late on the side of like working on marketing for my video business is also getting all of our shit prepped for our performance that night, which is, I'm very excited for it. We've played one show as Graveless so far in December in Sioux Falls. We have one in April that we're doing, and a lot of what we're doing in April is going to be a test run for what we're doing in July. So we'll see what happens, but I'm very much looking forward for 4 wins, and we're gonna be
Good
dropping.
for you, man. That's sick.
We're gonna be dropping a couple music videos in the meantime, and we have a single that we're gonna be dropping sometime around that time as well. Which that's
Sweet.
another thing that
I actually might try to make it out to that. That sounds like a blast.
Dude, that'd be awesome. I will happily sell you a ticket.
Okay. Yeah.
Because yeah, like they give us tickets to sell. So if anyone in the surrounding area locally wants to make the trek out there for whatever reason, it's gonna be sick. There's some awesome like local restaurants that like in the downtown area that like do really well around that time, just because like there's gonna be a lot of like foot traffic alone in downtown
Hell yeah.
Sioux Falls that weekend. So like hit up any of the local restaurants, take a look at the city, go look at the Sioux Falls for whatever reason.
Check out the art. Yeah. Heck
Give
yeah, man.
give all the artists your money.
Yeah. Well, Lane, again, thank you so much. All of Lane's stuff, including potential music videos, bands we maybe discussed on the show, his socials, all that fun stuff will be in the description below. I do believe he also has a YouTube channel. We'll probably have that linked in the title or below somewhere as well. Again, thank you all so much. Like, subscribe, comment. You want to be a guest on Gutterball, hit us up on Instagram or our business email, gutterballbusiness@gmail.com. That was, what number are we on? 86.
86.
God.
86.
Yeah, that's Gutterball 86. Have a great weekend.
Oh!